What's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a great day. And before you ask, why am I wearing the same clothes? This was recorded the same night as part one. I'm just uploading it on a different day. So, gonna go with part two of the Road to 100 metal masterpieces. So, let's not waste any time and get into it. Let's start with this classic Iron Maiden, The Number of the Beast. This has always been my favorite release from Iron Maiden. Just Iron Maiden doing Iron Maiden, just they're heavy metal madman. Man, that was a tongue twister to say. But yeah, like I said, they're heavy metal madmen, and they have been for a long time, up there with Priest and Sabbath. But yeah, man, just the Number of the Beast, Run to the Hills, Children of the Damned, The Prisoner. If you don't have this, or at least any early Iron Maiden album in your metal masterpiece or masterpiece of metal list, however you want to phrase that, you're wrong. And your list is just shit to me, and it's the validity of it is voided. And of course, I'm kidding. But if you don't like Iron Maiden, you don't like Iron Maiden. It's just your taste. But yeah, Iron Maiden, Number of the Beast, just masterpiece. All right, some more straight up heavy metal. Black Sabbath with Paranoid, always been, in my opinion, the best Black Sabbath album. And everything from self-titled to Paranoid to Masters of Reality, which is a lot of people's favorite, to Volume 4 to Sabbath Bloody Sabbath to Sabotage. I love Sabotage, man. I don't care. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think that one's a little weird. Of course, when you get into technical ecstasy and Never Say Die, I'm not a big fan of those. But yeah, Paranoid, man. Like the first Black Sabbath song I ever heard was Paranoid, and I mean, you got the cool ass riff of Iron Man and War Pigs, which is just a classic song. Even Electric Funeral. It's a great song, and I mean, I don't care as long as your favorite Black Sabbath album to me is in the first 7 albums, then we can be friends. Of course, I'm just kidding. If your favorite Black Sabbath album is Mob Rules, we're friends too. If you like Black Sabbath, we're friends. If you don't like Black Sabbath, fuck you. I don't want anything to do with you. Black Sabbath, Paranoid, Tony Iommi on guitar. He's just a wizard. What can I say? It's Black Sabbath. And for those of you that I noticed, there's this trend now of a lot of these people that like metalcore and stuff. They don't like old music. Just know that you wouldn't have your Memphis Mayfires and your Wage Wars or whatever, which I'm not a fan of metalcore anymore, but I used to be. But you wouldn't have any of that without Black Sabbath, man. So Black Sabbath started it all. All right, we got one that I think a lot of purists might scoff at, but I don't really care. Anand Thrak with Eshketon. You know, there's a guy here on YouTube, Wyatt X Him is his name. I know he's a huge fan of these guys, and he was actually the one that exposed me to Anand Thrak, and I've listened to their entire discography, and this one's always stood out to me the most. I mean, the song, I think their best song is Between Shit and Piss We Are Born. It's just such a brutal, freaking chaotic black metal mixed with grindcore sound. And I'm not the hugest grindcore fan in the world, but this album, man, is pretty ruthless, man. It's pretty evil. It sounds evil, and I think that's why I like it. I like metal. It sounds evil. And I always get a big kick or I get on a big kick for it rather. And on the track with this album, and especially the song Between Shit and Piss We Were Born, really hits the spot. So yeah, that's a masterpiece to me. All right, we got a classic grindcore album here, Terrorizer, World Downfall. Man, this album just rips from beginning to end. It's like I said, like I just said earlier, I'm not the biggest grindcore fan in the world, but you know, I have my exceptions. I mean, Terrorizer, Napalm Death, Early Carcass, Rotten Sound, Worm Rot, 324. There's a lot of great grindcore bands out there, but there's a lot of them I'm not a big fan of. But Terrorizer was always one I never minded. I know they only have like 3 or 4 albums, but this one to me is a classic, and every metalhead I know owns this one, and I think this one's just purely a masterpiece. I mean, it's chaotic, just like a good grindcore album should be. But yeah, Terrorizer, World Downfall. Just there's really good riffs on it too. I just want to add before I put it down. All right, this one I've actually got some black metal in here. Which one do I want to show off first between these two? They're both good. You know what? We're gonna go with this. And I had a hard time picking between the first, well, their first EP or their first two full lengths. And I went with their first EP, Behemoth, with In the Forest Dream Eternally. I know this is just an EP, but you know, this is some of the most pagan sounding. This EP reminds me of paganism, and it sounds really magical. It's great black metal. Um, I definitely think that this is probably their best work overall. While I think that Stormy Near the Baltic is their best full length, this I think is just their best work in general. It's just so evil sounding, man. I love black metal that sounds evil. It sounds magical. It makes me want to start performing black magic for whatever reason. I mean, I don't even believe in any of that, and it still makes me want to perform black magic. And it's the guitar work, the vocals, everything here is perfect. And you know, before somebody makes the assumption that the Satanist is the greatest thing that Behemoth has put out, listen to this first. And then, if you still say the Satanist is the greatest thing they put out, fine, but at least don't say that without listening to this. Yeah, I was one of those people that thought the Satanist was the greatest album in the world. Now I think it's shit, but at one time I was convinced that the Satanist was the greatest thing ever. But next we got one that might get me in a little trouble with this band. And see, I like it when bands try things different and it actually works. Now I want to go ahead and say that their earlier stuff I love. And that's Megadeth with Euthanasia. I love Rust in Peace. I love Peace Sells, but Who's Buying? And most people's favorite Megadeth, or the ones they claim are masterpiece, are one of those two. But Euthanasia, to me, not only was it the first Megadeth album I have ever heard, I think that this one really, they mix, like, this to me is Megadeth's prog album. Kind of like how Metallica's And Justice for All is their prog album. Like, this one doesn't have a whole lot of thrash in it, but this one is so musically just put together so well. You got songs on here like Reckoning Day, Train of Consequences, which is one of my favorite Megadeth songs. A Tout Le Monde. You've got The Killing Road. You've got Addicted to Chaos, which is another one of my favorite Megadeth songs. This, to me, I think is Megadeth at their most musically mature. And I think that this is their best written album. Where, yes, Peace Sells and Rust in Peace are very heavy thrash albums. I love them to death. But this, to me, I think not only is their heaviest as far as guitar work and whatnot, but I think this is definitely their most musically mature. And I think that it's really great. I think this is a great album. Might get me in some trouble, but I don't care. Alright, we got a concept album here, but I actually get quite a kick out of this album when I listen to it, and I actually think this is their best release. We got queenstrike with Operation Mindcrime. This is if you're not into concept albums, skip this one. Which, I mean, concept albums are just like any other albums. It's just what a concept album is. It's just a collection of songs that kind of sing about the same ideology or the same kind of ideas or have a similar tone. That's what a concept album is. But there's a lot of people that say this album's a piece of shit. And a buddy of mine gave me this because he just said straight up it's a piece of shit. He just doesn't, it's not metal to him. What are you talking about, man? This is fucking metal. But I actually don't talk to that individual anymore, which I wish I did. But people grow apart. But yeah, definitely a masterpiece of metal to me. It's not extreme metal or anything like that. So if you're expecting this to all be extreme metal, I'm sorry. But Operation Mindcrime, favorite song, man, it's hard to pick on this one. Probably the title track. Like I said, I don't know what it is with me and title tracks. I just always end up really liking title tracks. I don't know why. But yeah, a masterpiece for sure to me. Alright, got a classic thrash album here. We got Slayer with Hell Awaits. I almost said Health Awaits. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with me. Yeah, you know, in that video I made or fucking stupid thing people try to call me, where I made that video ranking all of Slayer's albums. Yeah, I put this one. South of Heaven used to always be my number one, but upon that re-listen for that, upon all that, when I re-listened to all the discography, this one to me really just clicked with me more than any of the others at the time. And Slayer is one of my favorite bands ever. And like I said in that video, this album is very evil and sinister sounding to the point where I feel like I shouldn't be listening to it because it's evil. And like I said, I'm not even religious. I don't fucking buy into religion, religious horse shit. But that's not horse shit. I didn't mean it like that. But yeah, I mean, if you're Christian and listen to metal, or if you're Christian, you're a good person. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to get into that. I shouldn't have said horse shit. But yeah, this I think is definitely a classic, and I think this one always gets underlooked because of South of Heaven and Rain and Blood and Seasons of the Abyss, which I think Seasons of the Abyss now could actually rival South of Heaven. With Slayer, my thing always changes, but I don't think this is going to change, being at my number one spot. Show No Mercy has always been my second favorite, but yeah, Hell Awaits is a classic. The title track, man, Hell Awaits. I don't know what it is with me and I love that song. It's heavy, it's sinister sounding, it's evil. I love it. But yeah, Slayer, Hell Awaits. Alright, got a black metal classic here that should be in everybody's masterpieces. We got Mayhem with De Mysterious Dom Satones. I mean, you know, you got Euronymous in the band, and I mean, the less said about him, the better. He also got Hellhammer in the band, who went on to form his own band called Hellhammer. But, you know, I wish because of this album, man, this is the first bit of black metal I've ever heard. And Freezing Moon, Pagan Fears, oh, it's so great. It's such a great album. And if I was to ever see Mayhem live, I would hope to God that they played at least Pagan Fears, because that's probably my favorite song by Mayhem altogether. Just Mayhem, De Mysterious, Dom Satones, just a sheer fucking classic and a masterpiece to me. Alright, some people might be a little bit puzzled by this, because there's one album in mind when you think of a masterpiece by this particular band. It would be not their most recent album, but the one before. But to me, this one always just went the hardest to me, and that's Dying Fetus with Destroy the Opposition. Dude, I mean, come on, man. This album is just a ripper. Yeah, Reign Supreme, great album. God, it escapes me. Album names, man. Wrong One to Fuck With was a great one. I'm sure this new Dying Fetus album, which I did hear that new Dying Fetus song, off the fucking hook. Dying Fetus has never put anything bad out, and you know, even their song Grotesque Impalement off their EP there that escapes me is great. But Dying Fetus, Destroy the Opposition, man, is just kills from start to finish, and I think that's what I like about it. There's just no stopping here, and it's your typical Dying Fetus sound. John Gallagher's great vocals, just classic Dying Fetus, and I believe that this album is truly a masterpiece, and so are the previous 9 that I showed. But yeah, that's it for this one. So yeah, part 3 will be coming out soon, I guess. I don't after this one, obviously. So what comes after 2, 3. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'm out. Peace.